Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. I'm still working on Scott's reels that he sent. He sent in a pile of them. And this one's unique, so I'm going to show you a way to test for the problem that I believe is occurring here. To me, this reel is suffering from frame twist. And what frame twist is when the reel frame gets out of square. And what happens is, well, it's a condition you can see here. You have a big gap on the bottom of the frame. If you're looking at the spool, you can almost put a screwdriver, you can put a screwdriver in there, but you go up top and there is no gap, so it's not square. Same thing would happen in reverse on this side. Well, how does frame twist happen? It happens typically when a line is over here, you're in a heavy fight and you've got the pole twisting the reel. And what that's going to do is it's going to cause the reel seat to buckle under the pressure. And when it gets out of square, well, instead of being this way, it tilts the frame this way. And then you get a condition like this, where the reel will just stop. And then you play with it, maybe you can get it going again. But I believe that's what it is, and so we'll give it a quick test here. We'll show you a way to diagnose this. We'll show you two ways to diagnose this. The one is if you happen to have a spare frame. Now this spare frame is not from the 155 Beachmaster. This is from the Surfmaster 200, but surprisingly enough, the side plates on both sides match up with the bolt pattern from the 155. On the Surfmaster, you have a single take-apart screw. That side plate has been removed. And I did that to show you that there's a big difference between the Surfmaster and the 155 Beachmaster when it comes to frame twist. These posts are independent and would be more prone to it than a solid piece of metal, which is what you see on the Surfmaster. So we're going to take this apart. I'm going to show you two ways to diagnose whether you have frame twist. The easiest is just find a frame that you believe is true, which is what I'm doing here with that Surfmaster, and then find if this one will perform properly in that different frame. So that goes for a lot of reels. If you have a Jigmaster, if you have any Penn reel that you can swap that out on, or you think this may be the problem. This is also interesting if you're trying to diagnose a reel on a fly. If you're, let's say you're at a flea market, you're trying to buy one, well, that's a test to look for. Is it performing properly here? Well, I can tell right away. You can see how loose this post is here, and that could be a little bit of an indication as well. Well, we have two more screws to take out here, and while I take those screws out, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. This channel has been formed to show you how to do it yourself, how to go ahead and take a reel that you own and service it. And right now I'm just over 3 years into doing the YouTube videos. I have a lot of videos in my library, and if you have a reel that you want to service, chances are you're going to find it there, or you're going to find one similar to that there. And you're welcome, of course, to do those. But if you subscribe, you'll see the ones I'm currently working on and adding to my library all the time. And if you do that subscription and hit the notification button, well, you'll be able to see right away when I post those, and you'll be able to make a determination as to whether that's something you want to watch or not. This reel is obviously old and has probably been suffering from this condition for quite some time. This is the older line. This is the line, the braided line they were selling 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's the Dacron or the linen line. So my suspicion here is that this reel got frame twist very early on in its fishing days. It probably sat on a shelf somewhere, and then Scott found it at a flea market. So just going to put a dab of grease on there. It's not necessary for the test, but you might as well. I'm going to seat that into the side plate here, and then I'm going to take the other side plate, and you can see we're going to have to do some work on this. But I'm going to take that other side plate, we're going to put it onto the reel, and we'll see if that solves the performance problem. Now, it's not going to take the squeakiness or the lack of oil or any of that other stuff out of the way. We'll do that with a service. But right now we just want to see, is it the frame that's twisted? And to do that, we'll go ahead and put these back on. If you have questions on any reel, it doesn't have to be this one. Maybe you're working on a reel and you're stuck. Maybe you want to know a little bit more about a reel. or just questions in general. Maybe you're considering buying one and would like an opinion. Leave those in the comment section. If you leave them in the comment section, I do try to answer them. And generally speaking, I do try to answer them in the morning. So if you leave it the night before, don't expect an immediate answer. But if you are patient, I will try to give you an answer. And if I don't know an answer or don't have an opinion about it, I'll try to point you in the direction that would be helpful to you. So leave those in the comments. I'll do my best to get you an answer for those. Well, I got one more to tie out, and then we're going to see what happens with the reel with what I believe is a square frame. Okay, so we bolted that up. That just goes to show you that a 155 Beachmaster can fit on a 200 Surfmaster. Let's put this into free spool. Now, let's take the click off. And there you go. We got a little chirp in the spool. That's not too unusual. It's probably could be adjusted a little bit. That chirp will work its way out over time. But there you go. So the problem with this reel is that you had frame twist. So let's show you the other way. If you don't have a replacement frame, let's show you the other way to do that diagnosis. Take the two pieces of the reel seat off, and it is normally the reel seat that's going to bend that's going to cause that frame twist. So let's go ahead and remove those two pieces. And here's how you tell. If you have a rock in your frame, these four pieces should sit on a level surface. If you have a rock, just like this, you can hear it. Almost sounds like a Morse code kind of thing, right? If you have a rock, it means that these are not square to themselves and square or parallel to each other. That's what's caused the frame twist. So when this reel was out there fighting fish, something caused it to turn this way, if you will, front and back, pulled these out of square, caused the spool to get off kilter with this, and that's the cause of your issues there. So test it two ways. Either get a replacement frame that you know works, and if you have that issue with this, go ahead and try and find that 200 reel seat as opposed to the 155 reel seat, because it is a stronger piece of metal, and it will prevent that in the future. But if you can't find a replacement, then go ahead and test for square on this. Now, how do you solve that? Well, interestingly enough, this is kind of a bush fix, but hold to one side. Let's just say hold it with a pair of pliers or something. This is not going to work right. Get a plier or a screwdriver and either pull down or pull up until you kind of reverse that issue that you had with that piece. But that's it. That's how to diagnose and how to repair a frame twist issue. Of course, the easiest answer is go get a replacement reel seat. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you did, please like it. If you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're like Scott, if you have some reels that need service but you're not up for servicing them yourself, then please contact me by email on the business card that follows. I'll be happy to provide you with reel repair information. So this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. To everybody who's a first responder and essential personnel, uniformed firefighters, EMTs, police, and so on, thank you for everything that you're doing. And to all, please stay safe, stay well, and stay watching. And have a great day.